I kept looking for reasons to villainize him, and the only thing I could find were his teeth. Everything else was fine.
It's time to take A Therapeutic Dose, a prescription-strength reality TV podcast that explores the intersection of reality TV and therapy. Possible side effects may include entertainment, strong emotional reactions, and/or laughter. Here are your hosts, Ramona Ramirez and Margie McGee.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to A Therapeutic Dose, where we meet at the intersection of reality TV and therapy. I am Margie McGee, and with me, as always, is my dear friend and co-host.
Hello, everyone. I am Ramona Ramirez. Margie, it is so lovely to see you. It feels
Good
like
to see you.
Thank you. I'm glad. It feels like it's been forever, but it's only been a week. But it feels like it's forever because we're recording late in the afternoon versus
At
early
the
in the
butt
morning.
crack
Well,
of dawn.
early-ish, not quite early.
The last
Morning
time was
time.
butt
And,
crack because you
you
had
know,
headshots.
so it just feels like it's been a long time. Who
How did-
cares? That's
how
not why
did the-
anybody fucking called. Oh, that's right.
How did the headshots go, by the way? We still
Oh my God. You're so sweet to ask. Thank you. I haven't seen them yet,
okay.
but the photographer was fantastic. Like, I haven't even seen the pictures yet, and I would shoot with her again. 'Cause she
Damn.
was just so kind. Makeup artist, so kind. Whole experience, 11 out of 10. It was great. I hate getting them. It
I was just gonna
feels
say, 11 out of 10
so
is huge for an errand that you were like
right.
dreading.
It's because these women were so fantastic, and the photographer had her dog Star on set, and he was adopted. I think she found him in Antigua, yeah, and brought him back. And
What? How do you do that?
I don't know. It was
Okay.
it was
'Cause
it
they
was
like
a
you have
lovely
to fill out a
story.
custom
It
form that's
took
like, do
a
you have an
while.
orange in your bag? Because if you do, you're
Exactly.
arrested.
Right,
So
right.
bringing a
No,
whole dog.
this was it was process, but this dog is so sweet.
Oh.
And yeah, and the photographer told me, when I see photographers, when I go to their gallery page on their websites and I'm looking at all these people, I'm like, they don't feel nervous when they go in. They don't feel weird and awkward because you're like posing in this way where it doesn't look like it when you're looking at the picture, but your waist is bent and your arms are weird. And so, and she's like, now try to relax your eyes a little bit because sometimes my eyes get huge and
Like
I
Ramona on the
it
runway.
just looks yes, it looks unfucking hinged, yes. And so, but I trusted her and I'm excited to see what they look like. Shit I would never wear in a picture, but it was fine. It was 100% okay. I'm grateful for Old Navy. I'm grateful for Nordstrom Rack. And now I have my 2 audition shirts, one for commercials, one for theatrical, and they're gonna
Perfect.
look just like my headshots.
A little
So
uniform. Never hurt anyone. That's
exactly,
great.
exactly. So it was a lovely day. It was lovely.
Good.
Yeah,
Well, we are
yeah.
getting into Summer House now that their entire season is over. We're going to start with their reunion episodes.
Yeah. I think it's good that we're doing this. I really do. I enjoyed I how do I explain this? What I'm about to say could come off sounding really rude, and I don't want it to come off sounding rude. Why does this cast feel like they're and I can't believe I'm going to say this out loud because all I do is watch them come to a house in the Hamptons and just drink Loverboy after Loverboy all weekend. But they seem so much more mature than the Vanderpump Rules cast does to me.
It's the, the New York City element, maybe?
I
I don't
was wondering
know.
if that's what it was. Yeah. I mean, theme parties and, Amazon Halloween costumes and chicken nuggets. And yet I'm like, you know, I trust Paige DeSorbo.
Holy crap. She's like a reunion queen. Like she just read everyone perfectly. And I was so impressed with her and her dress. Everyone looked gorgeous except Danielle. So much blush.
Everyone looked yes, I love a lot of blush, like case in point, like I love a lot of fucking blush. Love it. But yes, it could have been blended a little bit more. Everyone on that cast is stunning.
Yeah,
And they
truly.
all look unique, which
Yeah.
is, again, a
New
different
York.
it is, right? I
Mhm.
mean, stunning,
'Cause
stunning
here everyone gets
faces.
the same lip injections, the
They
same
do.
jaw injections, whatever, so there's, like, a
Yes.
likeness to everyone, but in New York, everyone certainly gets their work done, but not quite in the
Sure.
same, like, it's like a uniform out here.
Stunning.
Yeah,
Stunning
they looked
cast.
gorgeous. They all looked great.
Gorgeous. Gorgeous. Carl's teeth were
No,
very white.
bad.
They were very, very white chompers. They
He
were
got
chiclety.
he got some kind of,
Did he get
implants.
veneers?
Yeah, they're so
Yeah.
bad. Or
They
maybe
didn't
he's gotten quite thin as well. So I don't know what's going on, but he's starting to, like, edge into I don't know why I picture, in Pirates of the Caribbean at Disneyland,
Oh,
there's
yeah.
one skeleton that's, like, driving the wheel in the rainstorm, and he has his, like, head turned up and his teeth out, and, like, that's what Carl makes me think of. That's not
I'm gonna
nice.
pay attention to that pirate's skeleton's
So
teeth next
stupid.
time I'm on it, but, like, I
They're
all I
just
can see is, like,
pronounced.
the hair. Yeah.
Yes, because like, the wind and the rain, they have it,
Mhm.
like, projected with lights, whatever. Anyways,
Mhm.
uh Carl's teeth were their own guest at this reunion.
They were distracting, and
Carl's
listen, I
teeth, Danielle's blush,
Danielle's blush.
and everybody's midriff.
Yes, so much midriff, and I just Ciara, it's so hard wearing a strapless bra that you have to consistently be, like, just constantly be tugging up, and I felt for her,
Wait, but I
you
thought that
know?
was part of the look because she had
Was
the, like,
it?
white underwear showing
She did, but
too.
it felt like she was tugging the white part up
Oh,
a
she
lot, and it
was?
just felt yeah, like,
Oh,
strapless shit is so cute, and it is so hard to wear, but, you know, they all
yeah.
looked amazing. Andy was the least thrilling on that stage last night, on that sound stage.
If
His
memory
suit
serves, he had cute
looked
shoes though, right?
I don't even remember. His suit looked a lot like the one he wore last year at the reunion, but, because I watched the reunion, which was only 1 episode last year, right? Wasn't the season 7 reunion only 1?
That might be right, I can't remember.
Dang. Anyway, so yeah, this is the season 8 Summer House reunion part 1. Before we get started though, everyone, take a moment, hit pause, rate, review, subscribe, learn it, live it, love it. It would really help us out. Now we can carry on. And thank you, and please.
Yes.
And I sound very nasally today because I had a medical procedure done to help me breathe this morning, and my nose is very swollen and runny. So I apologize for sounding like Rudolph when his awful fucking dad covers his blessed son's beautiful red nose with soot so that he can fit in with all the other Brads and Chads out there playing reindeer games. My nose, Papa, my nose.
Is
That's
that
how
what
I
he
sound.
says?
No, the
Oh,
dad, I can't remember what the dad says, but no, I think Rudolph says something like that,
is
like,
that in
later,
the,
but
like, iconic cartoon that is
yeah, the
played every year?
Rankin Bass one, yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
I've never seen it. I've seen, like, clips of it, but I've never watched it all the way through. I need to do
Oh my
that.
god. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Oh, they are just, like, my nostalgia touchstone
Oh,
for, like, Christmas cartoons and stuff. But that dad was a dick, and the older I get, the more I'm like, "I fucking hate you." Yeah, he comes around at the end, but, like, oh,
they all do. Like,
they all
Justin
do.
Bieber's dad abandoned him, and then Justin Bieber got famous, and he's like, "Let's get our calves tattooed." And, of
I had
course,
no
Justin was like
idea. I have no idea anything about Justin Bieber's. I what did I hear about his mom, like, ages and ages ago? It doesn't matter.
I
That's not
don't
why anyone called.
listen, it's there was a lot in this reunion and also not a lot. It took a while to, like, get off the ground, so that's probably why we have time for Rudolph and Bieber ruminations. But it starts with everyone arriving, and I didn't have much to say except Lindsay just entered like a victim hero. She hugs Danielle like this is the hardest day of her life, and, you know, it's ridiculous. Having watched the whole season, Those are two people who just were not meant to be married. And Carl is not a villain for calling off the wedding. He's actually a fucking hero. And in time, hopefully, as he said, Lindsay will see that is true. But, someone once said to me, I was in a long term relationship. And someone said to me once, I would love to go to your wedding, but I would not want to go to your marriage. And that's how I feel about Carl and Lindsay. I feel like they'd put on a great show and throw a great party. And then I think we really got some what it's like behind closed doors
Ugh.
vibes during this reunion. And I was just like, I hated it.
I was so uncomfortable.
I hate how they fight. It's
I hate how they
alcoholics,
fight.
Al Anon fighting. It's
I
everyone needing to be right.
and it's just that phenomenon of repeating yourself over and over, and you're doing that because the other person isn't understanding what you need, even though you're saying it in plain English, at least plain English to yourself or plain whatever language you're speaking. Like that is, he kept saying over and over, I need a hug right now. I need a hug. Like that is the most simple thing you can do. I understand if you don't want to hug someone when you're angry at them or they're pissing you off, but it's just a hug.
But I also feel like I kind of love this season for showing us what it's like when you fall in love with someone, plan a future together, and then it just becomes clear you are not a match. Because he
Yeah.
said, I need a hug right now. And she says, I'm never going to be that person. I'm the person who asks you
Oh,
questions. And but that's both of them are telling the truth. He said, I need a
exactly.
hug. And she said, I'm not that girl.
Yeah.
And that is where I don't understand why everyone's so pissed off at Carl. Because in that moment, I was like, and it's over now.
Yeah.
Because nobody, nobody wants to or needs to change who they are. You just don't want to get into a lifelong relationship with someone that, cannot meet you, can't even take a step towards center to find you
No,
there.
I know. I know. I know. Oh god. Uh yeah. Lindsay says that she doesn't look at him with emotion at all. Like, what's it
Really
like seeing? And I'm like, she's like, I just have nothing. And I was all,
tell yourself
but
when you get on the stage, Lindsay, because all you
I
had to say was things.
I know. I know. I know. I Andy asked Carl, "Hey, how did you prepare?" And he's like, "I've been preparing for 8 months. I've been looking at my side of the street. Both of us are at fault. We both have our parts." I really All right, tell me if I'm being naive or if my gut is on to something. I really feel that Carl is earnest. I feel like
100%.
he's really just like he's extremely earnest. He's like the opposite end of the spectrum from Sandoval or Schwartz or PK or God, any of the men on Orange County. You know, I just
No, I think he's legit. I've said it before. I think Carl is just the ultimate example of why they tell you in 12-step rooms not to get into a new relationship or make any big changes in your first year of recovery. Because
yeah,
now he's at the end of his first year of recovery, and I think he would have made a different choice, and not gone through this. But he was also grieving. He was grieving the loss of his brother in like the most devastating way, like found dead
mm,
on the street. Like I would want comfort in another human being too. Certainly someone who knew me well. So, anyways, yes, I agree. I think he is earnestly looking at everything. And I love the editors because Carl says, I want to clean up my side of the street. It's not all on her. It's not all on me. It's shared. And then they immediately cut to Lindsay just blaming him entirely. She's like, he told a lot of lies. He laid the groundwork to villainize me. Blah, blah,
oh
blah.
God.
And
I
if nothing else, there's no world where he was planning this because we find out in this episode that he had just signed a 12-month lease for $14,000 a month. If he was planning this, he would have gotten out of that before signing another 12 months of
yeah,
paying her out like he's doing. Like it just didn't work. Why can't
I don't
everyone just
I
let
don't
that be
know.
so? It's sad and disappointing, but nobody has to be a villain. Nobody
I
is
don't
a
think
villain.
so. Nobody is a villain.
They're just a terrible match.
He seemed truly not so much during the reunion because it had been a big grip of time, but he seemed agonized. He
Mm,
was in agony. And I felt like throughout the season, he was really trying to engage with her. I don't think this is the outcome he wanted. I think this is the outcome that he felt was the most honest and loving, regardless of how painful it was going to be for both of them and their friends and their families. And I think it takes a lot of guts to end an engagement and call off a wedding that's like
absolutely.
weeks away, you know?
Absolutely. And for the reasons that everyone's trying to make him into a villain. Like my mom always says, like, a relationship, you should bring out the best in each other as much as possible. Obviously, everyone's human, but they
Mhm.
do not bring out the best in each other. They push each other's buttons, they drive each other crazy. They'd only been dating for like a year when this was filming and they weren't having sex like at all. They're
Yeah.
engaged, about to be like, this is everything is just like they're truly just doing it because they sent out invitations, and Lindsay would have gone
Mhm.
through with it, and that would have been a horrible marriage and a horrible divorce. So Carl
Yeah.
did a really hard thing, and he's not without fault, but he's the first to say that.
Yes. Yeah, and I feel like he did a really commendable job of not placing blame or laying blame, you know? Like,
He
I
had a couple
really
moments where
he
he lost
did.
his shit, but I would too. It's so
Yeah.
new, and when the public is turned on you, and she was doing weird shit. I didn't buy a word of anything she said. Yes, of course, she posted that picture of her with the girls to make it seem like the girls were all on her side. Yes, of course, she called paparazzi to the apartment. Like, of
Oy.
course she did. That's who she is, you know? Like, but anyways,
Damn, damn.
anyways.
So, yeah, he said oh, yeah, I think you already said he said he made the right decision and hopes one day she'll see it was the best decision for her too. And
She
hindsight
already does.
is
She's
already
already
is 2020,
yeah.
right? I mean,
He did the hard
yikes.
thing. She gets to play the victim. She already has a new boyfriend, onward.
Yeah, yeah,
And then everyone takes the stage and Andy notes the weirdest descriptor ever. He called the women's midriffs fearless, which I just thought was so bizarre. But like they all have beautiful bodies and they were showing their midriffs. And he was like, oh, these
right.
fearless midriffs.
And
Except Amanda, who was just showing nipples, I guess.
yeah. Oh god, she looked stunning.
Amanda?
Stunning. Yeah.
Yeah,
Loved her hair, loved her makeup, loved her jewelry, loved everything head to toe.
she looked
Head to
great.
toe. I feel like she is too good for Kyle.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know.
I
They
don't
sure they
either.
sure made an informed choice when they chose each other. They know each other well. But
Yeah.
it was just a bummer this season, and I'm sure they'll get into it in the next part of the reunion that he just can't support her doing her own thing. She just wants to make some bikinis, man.
It's
Like,
just wild to
let her go
me.
make a bikini.
Let her yeah. It's oh god, the fucking hair. Like I know it's gonna go in the reunion. Like I understand that. But it's just so stupid. Like it doesn't need to be a thing. I just whatever. I thought it was hilarious that West was like, "This is only gonna be like an hour, right?" And they're all, "Hmm,
I mean,
sure, sure, sweet summer child."
he showed his ass right from the beginning. Like, I mean, obviously, like everyone else, I was so disappointed in who he's turning out to actually be. But I also, you really get a look at how inexperienced with all of this he is. Like, this is an hour, right? I want to, and he's clearly so conscious of the show in a way that, they gave him enough rope to hang himself, and he sure did. Oh my God.
Oy.
And I'll be curious to see how it plays out next season. I wonder what he'll learn, if anything, from this, because he really is on the
Yeah.
precipice of Tom
I
Sandoval or
know we're
like
jumping all over the place,
Carl.
but, oh god, you cut out, and I don't wanna be talking over you.
No, no, you're good.
Okay. I I mean, we'll get there, so we'll get there. We'll get there. It's fine. Andy's oh, go
Yeah.
ahead.
No, no, go.
No,
You go
uh,
for it.
Andy straight off the bat says, "On a half of America, he's glad that these 2 are not getting married." Lindsay says, "Ditto." And Carl says it was the right decision. The cast agrees. And I was like, wow, Andy just went there. He just went there immediately. And I feel like he doesn't always just go somewhere immediately with other casts.
Wait, you cut out for a second. What was
Oh,
the
I said that Andy just went there, like from
Oh,
the
yeah.
jump.
I loved him for
And
that.
I did too, but I feel like he doesn't do that uh necessarily with other casts. Just bring up the scandal du jour just immediately.
Yeah, it was interesting. The way this reunion started was really interesting because he starts by inciting with that comment, and then Carl starts talking, and then Lindsay starts talking shit under her breath, which I just thought was so annoying and disrespectful, and again, just
Yeah.
an example of why these people should not be together. They
Yeah.
cannot find a breath to be, I don't know, to let the other, like, live and let live kinda thing. And then it just goes into, like, blaming back and forth, and then I don't know, this information that Lindsay said Carl was screaming at the top of his lungs, and I believed Carl when he said, "I was pissed off." Like, I was and I it sounds like a fight. It sounds like a regular fight, and it sounds like he said to her, "I'm this close to calling off the wedding," and then he did, and then she said she was blindsided, and then I'm just like, "Lindsay, you have no credibility." Like, as much as you want us to feel sorry for you, I can't. I can't find anything in me that feels anything but relief that you've been extracted from this engagement.
Oy. I don't like it. I don't like it. And they're just a bad match. That's it. They're just a bad match. Like they just have different ways. And it is so hard to be a human, and it must be part of human nature to want someone to be the bad guy. And
Yeah.
but they were just not well suited. Oy, oy, oy.
No, and I appreciated that, and everyone's giving Carl shit for this too, but he's paying half his rent, he's paying the fees for the wedding that he called off, and Lindsay just wants to punish him, so she asks if he wants, like, applause for that, and then he gets shitty, and he's like, "Maybe a high five," and I was like, "Ew, God, stop, ah!" Like,
Yeah,
this is
yeah.
getting so
Oy, oy,
terrible and
oy,
petty and
oy.
shitty.
Oh
Um,
God.
anyways, they were both spared by having this
Yeah,
wedding
they were.
ended.
I don't like seeing I don't like passive aggressive ways of dealing with conflict.
I hate it.
It's really and I'm not saying that I mean, I've been passive aggressive and sarcastic when, you know, I'm a human. It's not okay. I say I'm sorry. And but I don't think I would do it on that arena. And I don't think I would do it like it's usually with like my sister or my mom. Like, like but um I don't know. It doesn't matter. That's not why anyone called. But it just the passive aggressive jabs. I was just like, please just stop, Lindsay, just stop. Carl was fighting fair and she was fighting dirty.
She was
And
fighting to win, and he was fighting to
yeah,
be heard,
yeah.
and that
Oh
was the, like,
God.
alcoholic Al-Anon dynamic that I was like,
Yeah,
"I can't take this, I hate it,"
yeah,
because she's not
yeah,
gonna hear you. She doesn't wanna be fair. She wants to win, and she wants to destroy you in the
yeah,
process, and
yeah.
you don't want the same thing. You wanna be heard and understood so you can leave peacefully, Carl, and, that is just not on the friggin' docket for right now.
And I've been there, man. I have wanted to like eviscerate and vaporize my qualifier. Z,
Mhm.
you know? But it's just my qualifiers are also very, very different from the Carl that I've seen pursuing
But I
sobriety.
feel like Lindsay has, I don't know what if any addiction she has, but she's in a dynamic. They're both the addict and they're both the Al-Anon, you know?
Totally.
Like Carl pointed out over and over again, our communication dynamic is dire. It is not working and it is
Yeah,
not getting better, and we are trying. And there's
for
no better
sure.
time to call off a wedding than if you cannot talk to each other. to the point where there's noise complaints being filed in their apartment building. They're not sleeping in the same
Holy
bedroom.
shit.
They're not
Yeah.
sleeping together. Like, there's just nothing. What are you salvaging? It just all sounds like lonely drama.
And it seemed throughout the season that when they weren't having conflict, they didn't seem connected. It always felt like they were like, "Okay, so do you wanna drive to such and such? Do you wanna go do da da da?" And I was like, "Oh, no, 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 no. This is not like, no one's playing around, there's no, like,
Right.
silly jokes." I know we saw, like, the babe montage package last night, um, from last season, but it just like, if I didn't know they were together, I would never think, "Oh, they make such a great couple,"
No, God, no.
you know?
No, because I think it all comes down to what Andy has everyone weigh in on later. I think it all comes down to Carl is scared of her. And I think, I don't know, I'm projecting because that's what I do. That's what we do on these shows. I think he's used to being in a relationship where he's scared. So that's a familiar dynamic for him.
Interesting.
So he chose her, but now he's growing up a little bit, and I also think that's why he got shittier on stage than maybe he should have, because I remember that feeling when I first started to get some recovery and I didn't have to play along with everyone's bullshit and lies anymore. I realized I could say, like, "That's simply not true,"
Mhm.
or like whatever. And I think
Right.
Carl's in that place now where he's like, "No, fuck this. Fuck you. Give me a high five. You're wrong. Don't own your shit."
Yeah.
Ah. And it's like it's a pendulum, and it
Yeah.
swings real far and wide before it finds any kind of center. So,
I mean, yeah, because at the end of the day, everyone's human and everyone
mhm.
has a breaking point. Do you want I know that you and I know why people in their first year of recovery shouldn't make any big decisions like getting into a relationship or changing the relationship. Do you want to explain to people why people that might not be familiar with 12-step rooms, why that's
Oh, that's
a
really
thing?
I don't know if I can even answer the question. I just took direction when I went into the
Yeah.
room. So I was like, okay. I was I was in a relationship when I went into my first 12-step room, and that relationship, I was 6 months into it when I first started getting recovery, and the relationship lasted 7 years and then blew up like crazy. But I think it's because, at least in my experience, as I released addictions or patterns of behavior, my whole brain and body chemistry changed and I became a different person, and I learned what I valued and I learned what I cared about, and I got vocal about it, and a lot of relationships in my life slowly changed because of it. Some got closer like you and I, and some ended, and then other adjustments in between. Um but it's yeah, 12-step recovery is profound in amazing ways, but it really does change in my experience, it changed the dynamic of every relationship I had ever been in, including my romantic partnership. And it took, 6.5 years for that to find its ending. But, you know, yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
part of it
I,
ended, yeah, because we didn't share the same principles of like,
right.
because as a person in recovery, you have to be honest. Like the quickest way to relapse is to start keeping secrets and telling lies. So my guiding North Star is I just have to tell the truth, not to everyone, but there have to be people in my life who know everything about me at all times. And that's a really vulnerable spot to be in. And I was with a partner who didn't reciprocate that, and that was too uncomfortable. I loved that person, but over time
Yeah.
it became too uncomfortable, and it eventually led him to make choices that made it impossible to stay. So, but I don't blame him. I get it.
Yeah.
I mean, I wish there had been I wish there had I wish it had ended differently, but I'm not upset that it ended. I totally get it. We weren't we weren't made to go the distance, because when it's also, like, weirdly threatening when you're the person who tells the truth all the time. Because if
Dude.
someone in the space likes to keep secrets, then it's like, ugh, it's
Yeah.
jarring when someone else in the
Yeah.
room is like, "Here's the whole truth," even if it hurts, even if it's ugly, even if it makes you go away. Here's the whole truth.
Totally.
Yeah.
Oy. Yeah. Yeah. I I don't remember. I had fits and starts, and then I don't remember. I think I was already in a relationship when I started, um, the most significant part of my abstinence journey. Uh, so but I was also, like, 18, so, like, there was just tons of change going on regardless, but yeah,
But also any kind of change, like, they'll also tell you if you enter when you're in a relationship, they'll say, like, "Don't get divorced," just yet. Like,
yeah,
give yourself time to
don't
heal,
do
and if they
anything.
leave in the meantime, that's fine, but, like,
Right,
you don't need to initiate any beginnings of relationships, any
right,
endings of relationships, jobs, any of that shit. Just sort of, like, focus on recovery,
yep,
and the rest finds its way to taking shape, you know?
yeah. Oh god.
Yeah.
I would not wanna trade places with either one of them.
No, me
Yep.
neither, except Lindsay's abs. I would trade Lindsay's abs. They looked great. She said they were
I
drawn on, I don't care.
Her makeup was
Yeah,
stunning.
her
Everyone's
hair
I
looked great.
yes, Danielle's blush was
It's
it
tough.
needed it was begging to be blended, but yes, everyone else's, oh, just stunning, head to toe. Um, I I don't even care about the bromance package. Anything else about the beginning with Carl and Lindsay before we move on?
No, mm-mm,
Okay. The bromance package, whatever.
who cares?
Um, I did think that Jesse was a slow burn compared to West. West is definitely I just looked at Jesse and I was like, "Oh, he's tall." What I perceived with sarcasm was really just, I think, him sarcasm is a defense mechanism to protect yourself, but when he tells us what he's been dealing with, I was like, "Oh, shit, everything makes so much sense now," you know? And I I mean, obviously, like, he was dealing with legitimate life and death, literal life and death, and I just left feeling just a lot of love and empathy for Jesse Solomon, and he is so fucking tall, dude.
He's really tall.
He is
He's
so
really
tall.
tall. He's very tall. Yeah, he was a slow burn, but only because I think once he announced
Yeah.
his life story, it was like an inferno, and then it was like, "Wait, what?
Yeah.
Tell me everything about you. I wanna know everything. How did you get through that?
Yeah.
How are you facing the 5-year mark? Blah, blah, blah." Yeah, he's just then it's just too interesting to look away, and I did feel bad. I can't I'll never not think about that with him. Like, that is the lens he views the world through, which is waiting to find out if he's gonna have a life or if he's gonna be in chemo. Like, watching him and his mom walk through that period of time was
My
so,
god.
like, you know, chilling, and when he speaks up for West later on in the thing, I was like, "Yes, shut the fuck up," but also he has a different perspective, guys.
Yeah.
He's like, but Ciara and West don't have that perspective. Why when I wouldn't wish it on them, but it's
Yeah.
interesting to see that Jesse has a lot of access to forgiveness and letting go in ways that other people don't just yet. Because I think
Perspective.
yeah, he's
He's
like
been to the edge.
yeah,
Yeah.
he wasn't sure he'd be able to be at this fucking
Right.
reunion. He might have been on a
Exactly.
fucking 3-hour chemo drip, you know?
Oh, Jesus.
So,
Ugh.
yeah. He does make me laugh. At one point, they were doing a camera shot and I I think I don't remember. Anyways, he heard the word bum and then he just repeated it and he was like, "Bum shot." Like, just I was like, "Yes, Jesse, just be present
Full
and live,
Beavis and
sir."
Butthead. Yeah, totally,
100%, and I
totally.
loved it.
Mhm.
Then we touch on Ciara and West for like half a second, and Andy lets Ciara get as far as saying she got a little bit, and then he's like, "Okay, moving on." And I was like, "What? Okay, I guess moving on." And then obviously we get back to that in depth later, but we do move on to Carl and Kyle. Um, and I appreciated Kyle for apologizing for outing Carl being high at work. And because Carl had said at the reunion last year, like, yes, I did show up high on cocaine to work. And I wish you had let me tell that part of my story and not you. And they showed in that flashback Kyle standing up and hugging him and saying, like, you don't need a reminder from me. I know you know. And I was like, take a note, Lindsay. Like,
Yeah.
nobody knows more than the addict how fucked up they are, how much they fucked everyone else over. I know everyone thinks Carl's a sensitive, like, snowflake, but I get it. It's like, if you're an addict or have any of that tendency to think that way, you always think you're screwing up. Everyone's ashamed of you. You've let everyone down. You're a disappointment. You're ridiculous. And so when Carl says, I need a hug, I need encouragement, he does. It's not because he's a snowflake. It's because he's an addict. And his brain, when you're not talking, his brain is saying, fuck you, you fucking loser idiot, you fucking old, washed up jackass monster. Like, go to
Right.
hell. Everyone hates you. Doesn't ask Lindsay. Lindsay hates you. Look, yeah, she hates you. She just said, you
Right.
need a partner who can like interrupt that every now and then when merited and just say, like, I loved what he said when he told her what he wanted to hear, that he wanted to hear her say, like, you're awesome. You're a fucking boss. Go get yours. The world needs you. They need your
Right.
work. So go out and give it to them. As opposed to like, what did he offer you? Is it freelance? Are you? It's like, oh my God. At a certain point, you just want to give up because it'll never be enough. It'll never be enough.
Yeah. I
It's like,
mean,
yeah.
there's a time and a place for is it freelance? Are you going to get health insurance? Are you going to be salary? Is it going to be contract? Yada, yada. But in that moment, especially when they're being specific, like, yes, I would like a roast beef sandwich on sourdough bread. Please use mustard. Please use yellow mustard, not the Dijon mustard. No mayonnaise, lettuce, and very thin sliced tomatoes. Okay. I would like a hug. I would like to be told right now, it's going to be okay, and I'm a worthy person. Dude, it's okay. It's okay to be
Yeah.
specific and ask for that.
And I appreciate Carl for ending the engagement because he asked specifically and he did not get it. And that's when they say when you ask for something, you have to be prepared for either answer. And I believe he
Dude.
was, and he
Yeah.
really heard her say no. And that, again, that's no one's fault. It's
Mm-mm.
just information that this couple would have been miserable trying to go the distance.
Right.
They couldn't make it through the summer. Carl had to start coming on Saturdays because they would
Oh,
fight
I
it's just
know.
sad. It's so sad.
I was so uncomfortable. I was
Ugh.
so uncomfortable watching that. Oy, oy, oy. Oh, God. I have the note that there was a flashback to last year when Kyle said Lindsay was a psycho and he felt like it wasn't his place to add his opinion to the mix. Yeah. I don't care for when men call women psycho, period.
He called her a bitch too. He
Oh,
really went all
yeah.
in, but
I mean,
not but, he was drunk, and again, I appreciate him for specifically apologizing. He said, "I
yes.
put Carl in a hard spot by calling Lindsay a bitch last summer," and I was like, "Yes,
I
that's an apology, ladies and
yes.
gentlemen. He knows what he did wrong. There's hope that he will amend his behavior, and if he doesn't, you know that he knows what he's doing because he just announced, I know exactly what I did wrong. So if I do it again, it's because I'm conscious of it and I'm an asshole. Otherwise, I will try to not do that to my friend again."
I thought it was so respectable. I know I said at the beginning that I feel like, you know, Amanda's too good for him. I see moments of and you know what? You gotta hand it to those editors for making me have opinions. Because if anything, we see that the whole, stupid flower boy mishigas was just completely bullshit. It was so dumb. Oh my God, it was so stupid. I don't even want to give it any airtime. But like, yeah, I don't know. Maybe that apology, like Schwartz and Sandy could learn so much from the way Kyle apologized, you
Well, and
know?
Kyle's like kind of a mess, but I also applaud him for earlier in this season. He's the one who went up to Amanda and said, like, let's go to couples therapy every week. And
Yeah.
she was like, no.
Yeah.
She basically literally said, like, that's not my vibe this summer. And I was like, oh, dude. But he, again, went and hoped for one answer, but absorbed the one he got. And
Mhm.
they're not doing great, but, like, they're trying,
Yeah,
more so,
they
like you
are.
said, more so than Schwartz and Sandy have ever made an attempt
Oh my
to
god.
get close or stay in their respective relationships,
Losers.
right?
I'm just gonna say it, they're losers. They have everything at their disposal. If they could they are just choosing to stay ignorant and stupid.
Yep.
So, ew,
But
gross
it's
little
like
LA
you always
boys.
say, like, it's still working for them.
It's working for them 100%.
It's starting to
Gross.
come unraveled, though. Did you hear that Billy Lee thing? Oh, Lord. For anyone who doesn't know, Billy Lee, I guess, has a podcast with Joe that's, like, too much for me to handle, but she burned it all down with Tom Sandoval and was like, since he started dating this 24-year-old, he's, like, doing drugs and missing all of his meetings and appearances and claiming he feels sick all the time. He's an addict, like, basically is what she was
I
announcing.
mean,
And,
he's a whole lot.
she tried to do an intervention and didn't invite this new girlfriend, and that pissed off the girlfriend and pissed off Sandoval. I don't know. It's a fucking mess. So my point is, as you would say, I don't know how much longer this is gonna keep working for him. So, it's it's tricky.
There's no bets I'm willing to place on that guy. I'll tell you that. I will tell you
Speak.
that.
The only thing of interest to me in the Flower Boy controversy was this was just Lindsay lying or just Lindsay doing what I hate so much is, like, getting off on a technicality. She's like, I never told Carl that Kyle could not be a groomsman." And Carl said, "Well, that's what I felt like." And I was like, "Of course that's what it felt like." She hated Kyle. He's not even gonna make the suggestion because what happens if he suggests, "What if Kyle's a groomsman?" is you fly off the fucking handle, call him names, call him a mommy's boy, like, all of the things that he listed that she called him were like, wow, you just want to castrate him,
Ay,
emasculate
ay,
him, you
ay,
wanna
ay, ay.
crush and destroy him, and you can with words like that, you ass. So, and then I loved Andy calling her out because she was like, "Well, I said that we should do something with the Summer House boys." And Andy was like, "So it was your idea?" And she was like, "No, I had nothing to do with it." And he's like, "No, but you just said it was your idea to make them flower boys. And also you're saying you had nothing to do with it." And she was like, "Well, I never said that he shouldn't be a groomsman." And I was like, "That wasn't the question."
It
Like,
was
you're getting off
yeah,
on technicalities all over the
yeah,
place. I don't I don't like it.
yeah. Ay, ay, ay. I have a note about Carl that he had a hard time wanting to have the difficult conversation with her while trying to protect her feelings. Like, God, it's the worst. It's the worst. You're trying to
It's
protect yeah,
the nature of a people pleaser, and people, like,
yeah,
won't believe that that's a thing. They're like, "It's just weak, it's cowardly." It's like, no, if you have it, it's an obsession. The obsession to not harm someone else in order to get your own needs met, and it's damaging, and there are 12-step rooms for that as well. Coda
absolutely.
and
There
Al-Anon
are.
in particular.
Coda and Al-Anon, 100%.
But
Um,
I did think this is where we saw Carl, like, bust out a little bit when Lindsay was like, "Well, Carl's just afraid of a tough conversation." He says, "No." He, like, immediately jumped on it. He's like, "I am not afraid of a tough conversation." Blah, 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 and then he went on to explain that he doesn't wanna hurt someone he respects. Why is everyone so mad at him?
I don't
They are a
know.
bad match. They do not belong in that relationship together, but I kept looking for reasons to villainize him, and the only thing I could find were his teeth. Everything else was fine. They're just a bad match, and they're working their
I
way out of the
they are.
relationship.
They
I don't
are.
understand why
I
everyone is
mean,
like, I don't get it. She seems
I
worse. She's lying all over the place. She's pointing fingers and shit, taking no responsibility. And we all watched a whole season of her part in
yeah,
this, calling him Cocaine Carl. Go to hell. You do not do that to someone who's newly in recovery, whose brother died on the street of that addiction. Come on,
holy
man.
shit, man.
Ugh.
Yes, yes, yes. I agree. I agree. Uh, um, I know that Andy asked the cast, why do you guys all got along this year, like this season? And Amanda says it's because we are growing up and we just did not want to fight. And yeah, I I liked it. I liked it. I thought it was great. I felt like it was interesting to see people, you know, Jesse comes on to Paige and no one's like, "Oh my god, oh my god." It's like, yeah, okay, she's cute. I know she has a boyfriend. Like, she clearly isn't taking the bait. Like, what is the big deal? You know? And again, like just keeping it everything like right sized. Um, yeah,
But then
but then like,
Lindsay is just the common denominator for all this shit. They talk about Danielle and Lindsay and how did they mend their friendship.
yeah.
And they said they met off camera and hashed it out and agreed to move forward. But yeah, this is what led into the conversation about Lindsay posting a picture shortly after all of the hubbub about the broken engagement was out. It was a picture of her with all of the girls at dinner. And
Hmm.
then all of the girls in very knowing tones were like, I just really fucking hate that every time we go out, it becomes a news item. And to me, that indicates everyone knows that Lindsay, because Lindsay was like, oh, well, the restaurant must have called in a sighting. And it's like, no, they didn't. You're not that interesting. You called it in. You put the picture out there. You like, and I would be annoyed too. I would be so annoyed if I was invited to a dinner and then a picture and articles were posted indicating that I'm team anyone without me having a say in that shit. Especially because
Completely.
this breakup is so it's so team no one. It's team not Lindsay. It's team non Hub House. They are not meant for each other. Everyone is
Yes.
team everybody moving on. So like to force that narrative down everyone's throat and Lindsay denying, oh, it's just a funny caption. Girls rule, boys drool. It's like it's a funny caption on any day other than the one that you posted it. So like she's just such a liar. I really hate it. Again, please don't make me play the fool. I'm not that dumb. I'm not that dumb. You did it intentionally. Just fucking own it. We all do weird shit going through breakups. We all want to be right. We all want everyone
Yep.
to throw a parade for us and our futures. It's okay that you're doing that, but don't pretend like you're super chill, didn't even think about it, just got the girls together just because I wanted to hang out and get caught up. Bullshit. It's all orchestrated.
Ay, that's so gross. I don't like that. It
And
makes me
neither did
feel
any of them. They all
no.
spoke up and said, Ciara was like, she couldn't even look her in the eye. She was like, I just really hate when we're invited to get together to do something and it turns out being a PR stunt.
Oh,
Jerk.
God. This feels bad. It feels bad. I Danielle flummoxes me. She really flummoxes me, Margie. I want to like her so much, and I feel very it doesn't feel like if I spot it, I got it when it comes to her. But and I say it all with love. I I think she is a beautiful, well-meaning person inside and out. I like the idea of her app. I was like, "You know what? I need me something like that where I can just be like, doot, 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 doot. Okay, here's what you wear." Um, I feel that she is like maturity level wise, 10, 15 years, like somewhere in the teenage high school years still. And I don't know where that comes from or why, but I really was just trying so hard when I was watching the whole season to just find things about her that were redeeming, and it just kept coming up short. I couldn't do it successfully, and I
Yeah.
hate saying that. I hate it.
No, she makes me feel squirrely too. I don't trust her. And that's like through the
Yeah.
TV, like 12 hours a year, like I
Yeah.
can't imagine. But for me, I spot it, I do got it, and I work on it all the time. And to me, what I see in her is someone who's trying to fix or live their life from the outside in. I'm a founder and CEO. I'm fucking all the boys.
Oh.
I'm so hot. I'm fine. I'm one of the
Oh.
guys. Club send it.
Yeah.
Woo. It's like I'm having fun. Just because you're like saying it and going through the motions, none of it feels believable. Like Kyle, when he sat down with that banana on the couch and talked to it, like I believe him. I believe he is in his truest self and he is enjoying the smile on that banana. When Danielle like gets everybody into Club Send It and like, I'm going to get balloon guy. And as a founder and CEO, I understand people's emotions. It's
Oh,
like, all
yeah.
you're doing is like spitting out a bunch of labels and I don't believe anything about you. I don't believe the outfits you choose. They don't feel, you don't wear them in a way that makes me feel like I know you. I just feel like she's impossible to get to know in a way that scares me and in a way that I used to try to do in my 20s. I used to try to get the job, get the guy, get the whatever
Yes.
so that I could have
Oh my
something,
God.
some flag to plant in the ground to be like, this is who I am, okay? Everybody's okay with this, right? But I don't
Yep.
know who the hell she is, and I don't think she does either, and I don't know what Dawn is. I don't know why she chose that name. I get it, to Dawn something, but nobody fucking says that. Do you read books? Like, who are you? Why did you choose that I don't know anything about you. It's crazy.
Yeah. 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 That's such a good, you're right. It's trying to have the externals make up for the internals or have them be the thing that's compelling about you when it's just never that.
Or be the thing that saves you. Like, that was always my
Right.
hope is like, once I can say I'm
Yes.
this or have that,
Yes. Oh
then
my
I'll
God.
relax. Everyone else will
Totally.
relax and we can all get to know each other. But
Right.
until then, I'm
Exactly.
just going to focus on getting that or being that or doing that.
Right.
And it's like, that's not
Oh
how it works.
God.
It's just so
Oh
exhausting.
God.
And all you do, as Danielle proved this season, is separate yourself and make people like not enjoy your company.
Now, was the relationship that she was in that didn't end well for her, was that last season or was it before?
It
Like, do you think
ended.
she was doing, like, image damage control this
Yes.
season?
Well,
Okay.
she started it.
So
So
there you go.
her long-term
Let's go
relationship
in and try to manipulate the outcome so that no one will remember how I got, you know, dumped
dumped.
unceremoniously on TV and, like, the rug pulled out from underneath me, and I mean, that's just I can understand why she's trying to put out so much,
But she's been
but it
doing
doesn't
it.
mean it's okay.
No, and she started doing it on Winter House, so I think it's also why she went from Winter House, just, like, trying to have casual sex with this guy who was sleeping with other people, and then her feelings got hurt, and she would go in the bathroom and cry and be like, "Don't cry, just have sex with him," and then it was just so,
Oh,
and it's so
God.
relatable, but the piece
Totally.
that I miss from her is the self-reflection of, like, I was doing that because I was in pain. I'd just been dumped. I thought I was gonna spend a lifetime with this guy, so I was just trying to, like, as my therapist said, when I went through a breakup and I told her, I'm like, this time I ended it for real, forever. And she goes, okay, well, just expect to act out over the next couple weeks. So don't drive anywhere because you're going to drink too much. Don't make any decisions because your thinking is going to be cloudy. And I was like, that was so soothing. And I wish Danielle could just be like, yeah, I was acting out because my long term relationship crumbled and I was just trying to survive and I
Exactly.
did the best I could and it's on camera, oopsies. But instead she's
Exactly.
like she went crazy on Winter House and then came into Summer House being like, I'm a founder and CEO now. I had my fun at Winter House, but now I'm a professional woman who's going to be a success. It's just like, ugh, I don't
Yeah.
believe you.
It was a lot of the, I had sex. I had sex. Like, it was a lot of the not the lady doth protest too much, but in that same kind of vein where if you've gotta, like, say it a lot, I don't know. I don't know. I don't wanna kick someone when they're down, you know? Um, but I just noticed that I was just trying to root for her every episode, and every episode I was like, "Oh, I don't trust you. I want to
Mhm.
so bad. I wanna trust you so bad."
But anyone
And
that is that close with Lindsay, I think we're right to feel a little, like, suspicious
okay,
of, especially
okay.
because of what comes out here where
Yeah.
Lindsay and Danielle are apparently, like, mending their friendship, and Andy notes that Lindsay could not have thrown Danielle under the bus faster to say, like, actually, to Paige, she tells Paige Danielle is the one who wrote that article about Craig. And then Danielle cops to it. She cops to leaking to Deux Moi of all. It's
Ugh,
not
of
even like
all,
Vanity
right.
Fair. It's just like trash. And then Paige Paige just destroyed on this reunion episode. She says to Danielle, Danielle doesn't appear to like regret leaking this at all, even seeing how much it hurt Paige that she did
It
so.
was
And
crazy to see her not regret
I
or
know
it was
she
I was like,
justified it.
she did. She's like, well, it was juicy or whatever
Yeah.
word she used
Oh
as
my
equivalent
God.
to salacious. I was like, no, no, that's exactly why you just keep your mouth shut.
And that's why you don't have
She's your best friend.
friends.
Yeah,
Yes.
dude.
Because
Oh
if
my
you see something
God.
happening in my life and your first thought is, ooh, salacious, I'm going to call de moi, fuck off forever. And
I
as Paige
mean,
said, she said, I don't hate you. I just see you. And I was like, put it
oh,
on a t-shirt, put it on
that
a t-shirt.
was, I mean, listen, if Danielle's looking for a new friend, I think Larsa Pippen probably has an opening that Gertie left.
Oh,
I mean, listen,
I
they
know. I
seem like
love
they're
Gertie.
yeah, me too.
No,
Love
but you're
Gertie.
right.
But
No, but they're both too self-centered. Like that's
they're
why, yeah.
oh,
That's
it
why they
was
can't
just
be
so
friends with anyone. But I love that. And it helped me weirdly reframe. I've talked about it before, like these old resentments that sometimes my brain will just bring up because it's bored and it's a familiar place for it to go. And just thinking through, like when she said that, those people against whom I hold these old resentments popped into my head, and I was just like, I don't hate you, but I see you, and like that's so powerful because I don't hate them, which is why they're still on my mind. If I hated
right.
them, they'd be erased. But I cared for them once, and so they occasionally emerge into my consciousness, and now I can just say, I don't hate you, but I see you, and that's
Yep.
it. Dismissed.
Yep.
What a
Oh my
gift!
God.
Thank you,
And that was
Paige.
really
Mhm.
Paige. She was so sage.
I
I
know.
again, and she's someone too that like the shorts really bugged me. The BravoCon outfit really bothered me.
The
But
tap
like,
pants or whatever.
and yes, and I've spent more time thinking about Paige and Craig's relationship. I'm not getting paid. I'm not their couples counselor. I'm not their friend. I'm nothing. But it's like I am, and this because this is probably like my Gen X showing, or maybe it's like my again. If I'm Gen X, we were brought up with a lot of misogyny that we were just spoon fed, didn't know any better, and so like, is it internalized misogyny? Like part of my brain is saying she's just not into Craig. She's just not that into Craig. And then part of my brain is also like, maybe you're just not used to seeing women with such high, authentic self esteem that they can just be like, you know, if we broke up, I'd be okay. Like I'm going to be okay. And I believe her. I
And I
believe that.
appreciate him saying it too. He said it to
Yeah.
Kyle, and Kyle like lost his mind. You'll be
Right.
okay without her, then you must not love her. And I was like, no, he absolutely loves her. It's just it's those things aren't mutually exclusive. You can love someone
Right.
with your whole heart and also know that if like with Carl and Lindsay, if it can't go the distance because you just aren't a match set, you'll be okay. They would
Oh,
both be okay. I love them for that.
I really do too. I really do too. And I was like, God damn, I did not expect myself because I was watching Paige all season with a very critical eye. And again, I was watching Danielle with a very like, oh, I just want to have compassion and hold her. And it's like, okay, you, Danielle, Godspeed, please. For your own sake, you deserve to be happy and have good, healthy, loving relationships with other people and with yourself. And Paige, God, I'll have what she's having. Like,
Truly.
it's like she felt like I know Allie is an only child, but if Allie did have an older sibling, maybe it would be Paige because again, Paige seems to have a lot of self-esteem. And
Yeah.
I found her so refreshing and engaging and entertaining this whole season.
Yeah,
I
and
really
in
did.
this reunion, that like,
Oh,
we'll get there,
yeah.
but her taking up for Ciara when Ciara
Oh,
couldn't make words because she was so upset.
it was
I Paige
resplendent.
just has, like, a
It
lot
was
of perspective that I did not see coming.
yeah,
She said at the
agree.
end of this little segment, she said, you know, Danielle was saying, like, getting all dramatic and global, saying, like, well, I didn't realize it would make you, like, hate me. And she said, I don't hate you. Like, I'll have another great summer with you guys, but I didn't forget. I know what each of you has done to me over the years. And it wasn't threatening. It was just like, I'm fine. I can fully hang out with you. And again, I don't hate you. I just see you. So there you go.
God,
Yes,
Margie,
Paige.
imagine what that would be like to be like, what if I didn't have to call you before hanging out with certain people or, like, spend days and days and weeks thinking, "Oh god, how am I gonna get through this? How am I gonna do blah, 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 blah." Imagine just being like, "I see them. Okay, I can hang out with them, but I see them." It's like,
Hmm.
"Holy shit. Am I really gonna put, like, a Page quote up next to, like, my Fred Rogers quote in my bathroom when I'm
I mean,
posted?
it's a mantra for me. Like, I'm
I
not
see
going to
you."
judge the sources that
Right.
like wisdom reveals itself. But yeah, I don't hate you. I just see you. I think is like that is yeah, that's a notable quotable.
Yeah, I mean, honestly.
And what is
Oh,
not is balloon guy. We entered this segment, and I just don't give a shit. I
I don't give a
feel
shit either.
bad for Gabby for
I do
giving a shit,
too.
but I don't give a shit enough to give a shit that she gives a shit.
No,
So
like, yeah. I don't think that yeah. It that again seemed like another nothing burger that editors had fun with trying to make some drama, but it wasn't. And I'm sorry, like Gabby's makeup and dress, just hair, head to fucking toe, just like, oh, made me want to go out and buy that color lipstick and
she looked great.
dress. Stunning,
Yeah, she looked amazing.
flawless. Well, do we get into Sierra and West
Let's
now?
let's hit it.
Oh God. Oh God. West was West was listen, how do I say this? Oh my God, how many times have I been Ciara? How many times? How many times? And it's so frustrating because you're like, wait, so you're taking me to your parents' house. So we're going to your brother's house. So we're spending this holiday together, but we're not exclusive. And but blah, blah, like, even without the whole thing, like, okay, well, I'm gonna look like, this is gonna look the way it is after this show starts airing. Like, my God, just everything. And when Paige said, listen, we even told you, we're like, no one understands what's gonna happen to you more than we do. Your DMs are going to blow up. There is nothing wrong with that. If that's what you want to, if that's what you're compelled by, go. Go, like, sow those wild oats from being on a Bravo show. Like, this is what's gonna happen. We're just here to tell you. But he didn't. And instead, he led Sarah on. And I felt so bad for her.
Yeah, he really made every wrong choice you could just to like lay the foundation. We find out that after the cameras went down, they did eventually have sex. And like you said, he took her to visit his parents. He took her to visit his brother. He took her as a guest to a wedding. And maybe and this again is like a technicality that West is trying to squeeze out on. I guess they didn't say the word exclusive, but we watched the whole season where Ciara was saying, I'm not going to sleep with you. And she didn't for months. And I'm dating very intentionally. And I loved her. I think it might have been the finale episode where she said, like, commitment isn't a drag. It's actually fucking rad. Like, I don't know why everyone's like, I don't want to commit. It's like, but then you have someone to do shit with all the time, someone whose company you love and who you like to like sweat the sheets with. Like, what could be better? I don't know why everyone is making it seem like it's such a fucking hangdog, sad thing to do with your life. And West had said earlier in the season that his fear around relationships is either they go the distance and you're married forever or they end and that's sad. Well, look what happened. You made no choices and she's very sad. All you did was hurt someone. By making no choices, you hurt someone. And that was yeah, that was brutal to watch. That was very
It was
sad.
brutal. It was brutal and awful.
Because he knew what he was doing. He knew
I
what she
really think he
wanted.
did.
And he knew that he was gonna have his cake and eat it too, and that's where he turned into a little bit of a villain for me. Like,
Yeah.
if I believed that he was earnestly trying, like, I really wanted it to work with her, I put my whole back into it, and there's just something that wasn't connecting, or maybe I'm too distracted, I don't know, but I feel so bad, Ciara, I'm so sorry I hurt you, none of that. He literally just, like, shrugged and looked away, and I was
It
like,
was
"Dude." She was sobbing, and there was no emotion on his face, he didn't even look at her. He was just like, "Yeah, my dad made me feel anxious. I guess I'm gonna come off like an asshole." And it's like, "Yeah, your dad, read those tea leaves right,
I
sir."
just
What
yeah,
happened?
it was so oh god. Oh,
And then
I mean,
hearing that he hearing how invested he was in the production and airing of the show was really disheartening. And whether it's true or not, the excuse he gave Ciara to break up with her was, "I don't wanna be seen as your puppet." She wasn't puppeteering. So, like, A, I don't believe that's true, and B, what a gross thing to make up to break up with someone, instead of just saying, like, "I don't want the same things you want right now, and I wanna spend time with you still, but I know that I'm looking for something casual and you're not at all."
right.
Instead, he was like, all the blogs are saying that I'm like your puppet, and I don't want that, so I'm gonna go to a bar, and you're gonna go home crying. Bye." Ugh.
Plus, like, if this is what my Al-Anon sponsor used to say. Um, she would tell me, once I started feeling more secure in my own skin, and once I started to kind of come back to myself with compassion and self-love, et cetera, that it wouldn't matter what anyone else said or thought about me because I would know the truth. And that would be the only thing. So, like, someone could come up to me, be like, "Ramona, you're blue." And I would be like, "I'm not fucking blue." "No, you're fucking blue, dude." I'd be like, "I'm not blue. Like, I know I'm not blue. Just because you can't see that I'm not blue, that's not my fucking like, I don't care. Like, I know I'm not blue. I know the truth." And so I bought it. I bought his whole shtick, hook, line, sinker, that he was just this like cute, because without, let's see, at least for me, I wouldn't just see West across the room and be like, "Ooh, who's that guy?" But if he came up to me, in my younger days, and like he let forth that West personality, I would have been so powerless. Like he's not self-deprecating, but he's hilarious and charming and just all the things, like I would believe that he was a nice guy. And I don't know where I was going with that, but
I mean, we were all on Sierra's journey this
we
season. We
were.
all fell in love with him. We all loved
Yeah.
seeing him. We couldn't wait to see him again. He made us laugh. He's so cute when he was spooning Kyle and snuggling with Sierra. Like he's just a big love. And meanwhile, when he's on his own time, he's sleeping with lots of other women, which I actually don't really have a problem with, but I do have a problem with him being like, lies of omission are still lies, you know what I mean? It's
Yes.
just like
Yes. Yes.
it makes me uncomfortable. It makes me question, like, who are you and what are you capable of if, like,
Yeah.
that's your first instinct?
Man.
And it is none of our business, but also you're on a reality show and you're really conscious of it, so,
Right.
you know?
Yeah. Oh God. I mean, I really loved too that um Sierra was like, she was so vulnerable. She was crying, uh, showing us her humanity. You know, she's intentional, like you said, I'm intentional with my dating and my sex life. She didn't wanna cry in front of him, you know? Kyle was fucking crying. Kyle was crying. Kyle was wiping tears.
It did give me pause. I did wonder if there's something more going on, like, and I just wonder, like, Sierra's, protectiveness of, like, her sexual experiences lead me to worry that something
Mm.
happened where she didn't have full agency at some point.
Yeah.
Because I don't know, I it just her the degree sensitivity with which she treats that topic in her own life and the degree to which it harmed her when someone
Yeah.
overstepped those boundaries, just something in my soul was like, "Oh, oh," I you know, yeah, I don't know. And I wondered if that's like, because Kyle and Amanda, like, exchanged a look when she started talking about that, and then he started crying, and I was like, "Ah, did they knew something we don't know?" And it's none of my business, and I don't even
Right.
mean to speculate,
No,
but
I
it
mean,
just was this
listen,
big, strong reaction and not sadly, not an uncommon story, you
no, not
know?
at all. Not at all. And I can relate. Like I tried every which way to try to protect my vulnerable, overly romantic, overly idealistic heart. Um, Made myself very, very strict, very black and white boundaries when I was dating. And I did them all with I didn't want to, I wanted to protect myself no matter what from getting hurt. And um, it never worked. Like it never worked.
But
Boundaries or no boundaries, like I got hurt, as
true.
everyone does, but it's like it was
But I think it's, like you're saying, incredibly esteemable. Like, her side of the street is clean. She said
100%.
everything that she wanted. She mentioned that she gave him an out after the horseback riding date,
Yep.
saying, like, "I know what's gonna happen, like you said. You're gonna
Yep.
get inundated, and if you want to pursue that, do that, but let me go because that's gonna hurt me." So she did everything she possibly could, and that's what makes me so sad about West. It's like, "Oh, your side of the street is filthy."
Filthy. It's
It's so
gross.
filthy, and hers is pristine,
Yeah.
and it's so painful because she's the one who has to hurt the more, you know? He doesn't seem bothered, he seems utterly unbothered, at least at this piece of the reunion. I was like, "Do you care?
He
She's
seems
crying. Do you
like
notice?"
that het cis man kind of bothered where, "Oh shit, I look like a dick. I
That's what he
hurt
said as
someone's
much.
I hurt someone's feelings. I look like a dick. Oh
Mhm.
fuck, I hurt your feelings. Oh, you're crying. Fuck." It's not like, "Oh shit, I hurt someone that I care about. Oh god." It's like, "I look like a dick. Well, I don't want to be a dick. I didn't want to hurt your feelings. I was scared about what your reaction was going to be." And I don't mean to sound like a cliche right now, but
He
it
sounded
is
like a cliche. He
he
opened his whole
did.
conversation saying, "I didn't want to have to consider someone else's feelings." And that tells us everything we need to know, but you should have led with that, buddy. That
Holy
was should have
shit,
been your
man.
thesis statement, and you should have repeated it every time she said, "I wanna date intentionally." You should have said, "I don't wanna have to consider someone else's feelings." And then we would have had a Lindsay Carl moment where everyone's like,
Right.
"This is a bad match. Let's move
Yeah.
on." Instead of
Yeah.
taking it he just wanted to sleep with her, and he did. Great job, dude.
God. I mean,
Asshole.
honestly, right? Right? Yeah. Yeah. I mean, meeting his family multiple times, making love, that said everything. It didn't need
They
to be
saw each other
say
every day.
right. Like, come
And he's like,
on.
"Well, we weren't going around calling each other boyfriend and girlfriend." It's like, "Okay, but, like, come on,
Yeah.
man."
I
Like,
know. I know.
I
I
guess,
know.
again, in a court of law, I suppose you could get away with this, with the we never said the word exclusive or girlfriend, boyfriend. But it's like, if that's how you wanna live your life, then, like, fuck out of mine.
Oh God, West. Oh,
Yucky.
West.
But I'll
And
be
then when
curious to see how he recovers or doesn't from this.
yeah. When Jesse stuck up for him, I was like, "Whoa, Jesse,
He even
come
knew it. He's like, "I'm gonna
on."
get crucified for this, but," and everyone was like, "Then don't." And he was like,
Yeah.
"But." But
He's
to
all,
me,
"I'm tall and I'm cute, so I can say whatever the fuck I want,
and
and no
I'm
one's gonna."
cancer free, and I don't actually
Yes.
care that much about any of this. So I'm just gonna say what I
Yeah.
feel because I'm
Yeah.
alive today to say it.
Oy, oy,
I just
oy.
feel like his whole perspective is, I don't even know if it'll ever suit a reality TV show because he's just like, "There's such bigger things, guys."
Right. And then here, Paige DeSorbo, like, you know, hot pants or no hot pants, like, yeah, we all see the allure of the DMs. We all told you it was coming, like a fucking freight train. Like, "Hey, buddy, we know what's gonna be happening. Like, we're here to talk about it, and we're here to let you know what's gonna happen, and we get the allure of the DMs, but motions to Ciara, the allure of Ciara is higher, and I was all, "That is a fucking friend. That is a friend."
And I
And then
loved yeah, sorry, go ahead.
no, you go ahead, yeah.
Just when West said that he didn't like being called Sierra's guy, and he's like, "Call it narcissistic or whatever, but I didn't wanna be defined as her puppet." And Paige said, "That would be a very lucky part for you." And I was
Yeah.
like,
Plus, like, I
just
never
destroying him.
it never in a million years read to me as puppet,
It didn't to anyone, and that's why everyone's annoyed with him. Because it's
you
like, "You're
know?
just making excuses, just say the truth. You used her, you wanted to sleep with her, you heard everything she said, you heard every fear she had, and you chose to get what you wanted." Like Sierra
You
said,
chose clout.
he got everything he wanted, and she got the bare minimum, and he said it he knew that was gonna be the outcome, and he just didn't care enough to choose differently.
Gross, dude.
Maybe he will now, maybe this will teach him something, but
And then Paige closes it out, like, brings up a great point that this shit is real. Hello, Carl and Lindsay broke up. Like,
mhm.
the show is produced, the show is edited, and it's also real. And that's why, you know, that's why we're here.
She said, "We live our real lives and then there's a camera. We don't live our real lives because there's a camera." And I feel
Yeah.
like I hope West takes that to heart and approaches this differently next season because, yeah, hearing that he was talking about in their group thread, like, "This is the best season ever," where, like, the real life
Oh my
situation is
God.
so dark
Yeah.
and so tragic.
They're all,
So
hello.
I know.
Our friends just fucking broke up, dude. Like,
Yeah, and Kyle said, like, "I think you prioritize like, hyper fixated on the show and deprioritized your relationships, and, like, that's what's landed you here in your blousy suit and your" and suddenly everything about him I hated. I'm like, "Your stupid floppy hair and your dumb gold chain and your Robin Williams stand-up comedy suit, like, get
yeah.
out."
He fully Tom Sandoval with that outfit. He fully
Or
bought
did
his
he?
own fucking hype.
But
He
I feel like
tried. They
but I feel
both
like if he hadn't fucked up, I would have loved it. I would have been like, "Oh, West, what a
probably,
dope." But
probably,
because
but you're
he's a
right.
dick, now I'm like, "Stupid outfit. I hate everything
Right.
about your hair."
Right. Carl is a recovering addict. His brother fucking died of addiction, and his marriage, his fiance, he and his fiance broke the fuck up, like, on uh, on a national stage. Like, it is real. It's
Yeah. Well,
real.
and it's about to
Oh
get real
god,
for West because
West.
the fandom turning on him is probably gonna be pretty painful for a spell. But
Yeah,
again,
it's
it's
gonna
why I
it's
love reality TV because I wanna see how he
listen,
what he does with that.
listen.
He can grow and come back a fucking king, or he can Tom Sandoval and bum us all out.
Listen, Margie, you've watched enough seasons of The Bachelor to know exactly what's gonna fucking happen.
I don't though. This
This
is where I'm so naive and why I'm in
oh,
therapy
no.
because
This
it's like
guy
you
this
do, but I
guy
don't.
this guy is he obviously, like, took a huge shit on his image, as it should be. Like, he fumbled the fucking bag by being like, true to himself, and it fucked him. Like, okay. So, yeah, he did turn out to be a fuckboy and contrived, and it sucks, and we're all disappointed. I guarantee you that the Instagram titty models are still, like,
Oh, for sure, for sure.
up in those DMs, and if there was a Bachelor in Paradise or a fucking Traitors or whatever, like, he would go and
God damn it. I bet you're right.
he's gonna be fine. He's gonna be fine.
I wish he would be a Carl, but you're probably right. He's gonna, yeah, because
I mean,
he is
is he
afraid of
even
commitment.
30?
I don't think so, and, that's the thing, it's like, I don't even it's not about what choice he made to go
Right,
after it's just about that he listened, understood, and heard everything Sierra was asking for, pretended like he would honor it, all the while knowing he wasn't and wouldn't,
right.
and that's so cruel, and
It's
even
just
being on stage up against her sobbing, he just seemed
yeah.
unaffected, and that is scary. But, yeah, no, I'm sure you're right, I'm sure he'll yeah, nobody, there'll be plenty of bubbies in his
Oh,
DMs.
yeah,
He's not
yeah,
gonna
he's just fine.
suffer at
He
all.
is 100% okay,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I
And
mean,
Jesse Solomon
okay,
is a
as
good balance, you know? They
yeah.
spend a ton of time together and they're cute together, so they're gonna be fine.
Oh, God. Yeah, and that's the thing, like, we know that, like, West is probably a way better friend to Jesse than Sandoval is to Schwartz,
For
you know?
sure, for
Like,
sure.
and I think that's what's extra disappointing about West is that we see not just the potential, but, like, his whole heart isn't shitty fuckboy bad. Like, it's a lot of it is so great, which is why someone as high caliber as Ciara liked him, you know? Like, but yeah, he blew it hard. Lesson learned. We'll see what happens his sophomore year.
Well, and that's the thing is, like, he's shown us now that he's at that place in adulthood, like I always say, being an adult is a choice that you have to make on a daily basis,
Bruh.
and he said on screen throughout the season that he has relationship issues. His last serious relationship was in high school. Like,
Oh,
that is a
that's
big red flag.
right.
So he's gonna have to make the choice to get professional guidance, or he's gonna make the choice to just continue doing this, and again, like you say, as long as it's serving him, I don't know if there'll be a reason to stop, and he's young, why would he anyway? But, like,
Right.
maybe just because you see Sierra's pain, it would for me, that would cause
I
some
hope.
curiosity to be like, "What did I do that would cause someone
I
that much harm?"
mean,
If it's not clear to me, I'd like to get some help figuring it out, but
yeah. I mean, I'm looking back, like, I'm sure if I went through the fucking file of facts of my ex-boyfriends since, like, or the guys that my Wests, my
mm.
Jessies, I think I wanted them to grow up one day and be like, "Man, I really really blew that one, man. I really blew that one." And, like, who knows? I don't know if I ever got it, but that's okay. I can give it to myself now.
That's huge, that's everything, it's all there is.
Oh, that's not why anyone called.
You know,
That's all there is,
Summer
yeah.
House. I can't remember, is it 2 or 3 parts, this
Uh,
reunion?
I don't I don't know, that's a good question. It feels like they should only be able to get one more out,
I hope so,
you know?
because I don't wanna spend,
Um,
like, a full hour on Carl and Lindsay, I'll die. I could barely stomach the
no.
10 minutes they
It was
gave us this episode,
no,
so
yeah,
we'll
I
see.
don't know how much more they have. Um, what else did you watch this week?
Um, this week, I watched The Valley. It was the season finale of The Valley, and oh my god, that was, yeah, just marriage is crumbling, but I gotta tell you, that show is fascinating because it's people in all stages of relationships at that age, you know? Some are married without children, some are married with some children, some are married expecting a child, and a few are divorcing. Both of them have children. Like, it's real, real life. So it's raw as hell, but, like, it's really interesting, and it was lovely to see, like, Brittany come into her own and just say, like, "I don't know how I've stayed with Jax this long. He's treated me like shit, and it's time to go," and,
Ew,
you know, applause for
God.
Brittany. Um, and then the other thing I watched was this TikTok documentary thing called Dancing for the
Oh,
Devil.
yeah.
Oh my fucking god,
I
it
heard
was so
about it.
good. It was so good.
I heard
And
about it.
so it's a cult and it's dance and it's just like it's crazy. And it's ongoing. This guy is like still hard at work. And all of these dancers, I remember following them on TikTok and I remember the day that they switched over. He has them dance to like top 10 hits, and I remember the day that it switched, and I was like, "Ugh, this sucks now." Like, I hate it. And now to understand, like, what that change was motivated by anyways, it's a great documentary.
Okay.
Well worth a watch.
All right. Hmm. We're flying to Portland tomorrow, and Leo's got his iPad all loaded up with some Bluey and some Arthur.
Oh.
So maybe, if my sister hasn't started watching the documentary yet, then maybe I'll wait and we can watch it together when I'm up there. But if she has, then maybe I'll watch it out on the plane. And if not, maybe I'll watch The Valley on a plane.
It's,
Yeah,
yeah, it's
I'll
good.
try it
It's
again,
really
maybe.
good. But if it's,
Ugh.
it's like how I can't watch there's certain shows I can't watch because it just ruins all of, like, my hope and optimism.
Yeah,
s Shows on certain subject matters, so I don't know. If it starts to do that, it's not worth
totally.
destroying your hope and optimism. What else did you watch?
Let's see. What did I watch? Oh, we started watching the only thing unscripted that I watched was probably this. Yeah, it was probably just Summer House. We started watching Clipped, the story of the Clippers.
It's the best logo I've seen in like
Fucking
100 years.
A.
It's so good.
So good. The acting is so good,
Oh, I
just
can't
like the
wait.
casting. It's so good. It is such a good I mean, I remember when that happened, and I was like, "Holy shit."
That
It
was
was
crazy.
it was nuts. It
She
was
was
nuts.
insane. Like, the fact that that's even a real person is
I know.
but
I
she's the one who
know.
broke this and Magic John like, it goes
It
so
was
deep.
it
It
was
was
so oh
crazy.
god, it's so good. It's so good. So we watched the first 2 episodes of Clipped.
Okay.
And then again, like I'm 1 episode away from wrapping up season 6 of The Sopranos, like the series. And I can't tell you, like it's like I'm my own college professor and I'm a student in my own class and I'm watching this show. And, if Josh is watching it with me, I'll be like, do you see what's happening right now? Well, that is the Mexican side of my fucking family. Like right there, you see this little dynamic, you see this little tete-a-tete going on. Like it's so parts of it are just so uncomfortable. The acting is so fantastic. I just cannot recommend a rewatch or an initial watch of The Sopranos again. So I'll be finishing that the next, I don't know, maybe even tonight. But it sucks. I don't want it to be over. And I know how it ends. But
Controversial, that ending. People talked
bruh.
about it for, like, years.
I still like Google that shit. I still like, you know, go in, and I'm sure I will again. And it just sucks because like I wanted to listen to, podcasts weren't even a thing when Sopranos was out the first time.
Mm-mm. Cable TV
And
was barely a thing.
barely, right? It was still like,
HBO was kinda
HBO
it.
was it.
Mhm.
Right. HBO was it. Man, Sunday nights on HBO,
I
like for
know.
fucking get it. Oh my God.
It's not TV,
Anyway,
it's HBO.
it's not TV, it's HBO. I tried listening to a podcast and the audio was so bad I couldn't even get through a whole minute. I was like, I can't do this, you guys. You guys might have the best content out there, but I cannot sit through the fact that it sounds like you're recording this in a tin fucking can.
Mm,
It sucked.
I get that.
Anyway, so that's why I always want to hear. If anyone has any feedback about our audio, please send me an email to atherapeuticdose@gmail.com. I will take it so fucking seriously. I don't want y'all hearing mouth smacks. We are humans and we breathe. Sometimes there's a noise that comes by that we cannot take out in post, but I will be damned if we sound like we're in a tin can if I can help it. It's one thing if we record a whole episode and it turns out that it sounded like a can and there was nothing I could do about it. That happened once. I learned my lesson. But I'm just saying, like, seriously, let me know.
N
DM me.
no,
Send what?
because then
No,
you're gonna stay up
honestly.
for, like, 6 days editing out, like, lip smacks and, like,
Ah,
every time I hit the table I'm a giant klutz, so I always hit the table and, like, the
you
mic
know,
moves and anyways.
but
It's
I just,
as
yeah.
long like, tin can wise, yeah, give us a shout, but other than that, we can only
Yeah.
do what we can do, you know? You
Yes.
gotta
Yes. Yes. What was your antidepressant this week, friend?
my antidepressant, I think, was so watching that TikTok documentary thing, Dancing for the Devil, it just sent me into, like I went onto YouTube and just started watching all of these old So You Think You Can Dance routines that I remembered. Like, I could look them up because I remembered what the music was or what the dance theme was, and I just like, dance is fucking amazing, and the routines I was watching was from, like, season 2, season 4, so almost 20 years ago now, and what they were doing it was
Wow.
like the advent of Mia Michaels on the main, the big stage, like contemporary dance where you move your body, like, in weird ways and also in practical ways, which is just the opposite of dance, which is like if it's not painful and impossible, then it's not dance. But
Mhm.
that was like a revolution at that time. And watching these young dancers, Travis Wall and um, Twitch, RIP, and like just I don't
Oh.
know, the musicality and the unexpected movement and the weird song choices and like I just like fucking love dance. I fucking love it. I love watching it live. I love doing it. I love watching it on my stupid phone, YouTube videos that are shitty quality from 2006. Like they were great. They're really great. there was one piece, one me and Michael's piece with the top 6 of whatever season it was to the song Hide and Seek by Imogen Heap. And that
Mm,
song has no bass. And I reject anything with no bass. I hate it. I just won't listen. Just go to hell.
love that.
But something about the choreography and the way the dancers did it, you don't want bass. Like it was just amazing. I'm making no sense, I'm sure, but I just was so
No,
moved by like what an impact those performances had on me. Those like 1.5 little minute pieces that somehow after watching a dance documentary, my brain was like, let's revisit those. And it really was a hit of dopamine, man. Music,
I love
movement,
that.
love it.
That's great.
How about you?
Uh, God, I'm trying to think. Um, it was just one of those weeks where, you know, it wasn't bad, it wasn't great. I feel like I showed up for myself and for my family this week. Like I'm flying tomorrow. I've talked about it so many times on this podcast. I apologize. Like how much packing just like fucking just like makes me want to just shut down and vaporize into a pile. And I'm like ready to go for the most part for tomorrow.
That's
And
amazing.
yeah,
Like, I
I'm
wanna
really
pause and throw a parade. That is a
thank
huge deal
you.
for someone with ADHD and for someone who has, like, a packing anxiety to begin with. It's
Yeah.
fucking ridiculous to be prepared. For me, I still do the thing at midnight the night before my flight leaves at 6. I'm like, "Now you have to. Let's go."
Oh my God. I just hate it so much. And like, I knew we were going to be recording this tonight and I haven't done ketamine in so long. And I need to do that later on tonight too, which is good because it'll help me fall asleep. But I don't like being up against the wire. It feels like shit. It feels like shit. And it was one of those weeks where I like made enough of the phone calls that I didn't want to make to, feel good about myself after, blah, blah. You know, um,
It's so
I
important, the stuff you
I
did
know
this
it
week.
is, but
It's
it's
like
like,
mending
God,
important relationships and taking care of your physical health. Like, you
I
did
know.
majorly important things, so
I did. It felt like it. And so I'm kind of like, there's nothing sexy or exciting about anything that made me feel makes me feel esteemable right now. But it's like, it was a nice, good, chill week full of bullshit like self-care.
I mean, if the point of an antidepressant is to, like,
You're
stabilize your mood,
right.
you
Oh my
sound
God.
stable. What a
You're right.
gift.
You're right.
I'm
You're
talking
so
about, like,
right.
getting high, and you're like, "I'm stable." I had a week where, like,
No,
everything
but
I was
listen.
functional and things worked out just fine.
Yeah,
That's the antidepressant we all that's the goal.
it's it was good. It was good. And I did a couple dance classes this week. My arm is really hurting, so I had to like cancel one last night cuz I can't hoist myself up a pole if my arm hurts and I don't want to fuck anything up and I'm old enough to know now that like dude, just it's okay to take a break. Do something else. You don't have to do that thing, but do something else. So, anywho, that's it.
I
Yeah,
mean, it's a pretty good week
I
for
think so.
us, not for the Summer House cast as much, but oh,
Oh,
West, oh, what a
some
fall
of
from
them.
grace.
Yeah, yeah.
Jeez, sir.
I mean, it's a lesson if he chooses. If not, like it's not my circus, not my monkey.
Yeah.
And I am packing my USB mic, so we will be discussing the next episode of the reunion as well next Friday or next Thursday evening or whatever next week. Doing it next week, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
And until then, everybody take really good care of yourselves, and
yes,
we'll talk
please take
next
good
week.
care. And yeah, be honest with yourself and be honest with others and just be kind in all in those conversations with yourself and other people. Yes, that's it. Who cares? All right. Oh my God. All right. I love you, friend. I'll talk to
I
you
love
later.
you
And everyone,
too.
thank you so much and have a great week.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Ramona and Margie are
Obviously.
not doctors and do not provide medical advice. Their content is intended to be used for entertainment purposes only. It is not intended to be, should not be interpreted as, or used as a substitute for medical advice or a diagnosis of any health or fitness problem, condition, or disease, nor a recommendation for a specific test, doctor, care provider, procedure, treatment plan, product, or course of action.
My mom isn't a doctor.